All right, Darren. So, in going through some of the notes that you gave me, I'm just going to kind of reverse engineer and show you why it's smart to focus on creating the content that will allow people to want to opt into you, and sort of some of the stuff she's doing. Consider this. Okay, she first and foremost has a landing page that is optimized for attraction. Right, this header is optimized to get you to know who she is. That's what the likeness of her does. This is the hero shot that gets you to feel like what you would get if you click this big old download now button. Even though she has these other possible leak points, because you can hide these things. But even though she has them there, this color, this contrasting button, which I think could probably be even further contrasted, right? But she has it, and it's distinct from the rest of the colors. Everything else is kind of a blue theme. This yellow button is a larger, more in-your-face button that highlights what she wants you to do. And download now is a subliminal call to action that is it's a command, right? Download now is a direct command. So what I like about it is that when you click on it, she has a light box pop up. The first commitment is the click, because if she had this thing that said email above it, it's already sort of resistant measure. Something about just having a hidden opt-in. This is called a two-step opt-in. There's something about that forces it's a micro commitment sort of thing, right? Because the first command, there's even though you might know what happens, for whatever reason, it's just proven to increase opt-ins when you have it as a two-step. You click on that, then you put in your information, right? And then what happens is you're taken to this thank you page, and another command happens, which I think is pretty sharp. Check your inbox for your gift. What you could do on this thank you page, you could repurpose a thank you page to simply say thank you, check your inbox. Oh, and if you'd like, she could have made use of this, and we should probably do this on yours. If you'd like to check out Bridge to Mastery, click here, right? And that'll take you to the sales page that I call the forward-facing sales page, that would highlight and anchor your clients up to what the value of your offering is at a normal price. So they still got the gift, but you also can also kind of surreptitiously use this to highlight and showcase your premium priced offer should they want to do it. So meaning you don't command them to do this, you just subtly let them know. If you'd like to find out more about Bridge to Mastery, you can learn more about it here. And then they click on it. I hope that made some sense to you. So anyway, so then once you check your inbox, you get this email that I really like. The subject line says, download my first book, Wealth Through Workshops. Download is another, just a smart command, right? So now you've opted in, and then she tells you a little story. It's very conversational. I have no idea what took me so long, but recently a dream came true. My first book was published on Amazon and hit #1 in both categories. And for the next few days, you get it free. So it's a little bit in her world. She's telling you a little bit of her win. She didn't tell you when, right? So this is a good evergreen, but it tells you that she did get a little win. Maybe that's your dream too, right? Tells you a little bit about the book. You may not even need to go into this, but it's really short, pithy, but laced with links. And the PS is a segue of additional benefits you'll get. So when I clicked on it, it takes you to the Wealth Through Workshops, a 226-page book that is a PDF. I'm going to tell you right now, I would suspect that nobody's reading this thing. I mean, because if you have it on your hard drive, then this should have been like the very first thing you consulted, right? When you're thinking about how the hell do you do it? Because if this is a step-by-step to creating life-changing lucrative workshops, then people wouldn't have to go further than that, but they do, because this lacks the dynamic, interactive feel that you get when you're allowed to take part in a one-on-one. But it feels good knowing that you have this, right? But because it's so long, I would imagine the thud factor alone is going to cause people to say, "I'll get back to this later. I'll look at the rest of this later." They all have the full-on intentions to do so, but just the simple fact that this thing is 226 pages long is enough to get people to just go, oh my God, I gotta get back to this. However, those that do, the self-selectors, the people that self-qualify themselves, that get through this, will probably make some of the best prospects out there for her. Okay? So she's given this to you, and I would imagine this is on a whole lot of digital hard drives that people are not referring back to. They just, they digitally download it. It's collecting cyber dust now, right? Because so many people have not gone through it, even though it's there, because it feels good to have it. A lot of people like knowing it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Right? So this is one of those hoarder mentalities that she's taking advantage of in the human psyche. We all have some sort of secret hoarder thing. If you saw my hard drive, you'd be like, oh my God, like I have things that have been regurgitated in different iterations so many times. I'm like, why do I have all this? But I get it. It's very professionally done. Don't get me wrong. This is great. And you can probably, there are going to be people that just, take what she says, and run with it. Right. Maybe I didn't go through the whole thing, but I'm imagining some of the stuff is high level strategic, and then if it is step by step, then she's gonna have to have some tactical stuff in here too, or she should. Otherwise, that's kind of misleading, right? But again, I'm pointing out that it's very professionally laid out. It's out there. People are downloading it. Makes sense. And then what happens is probably people just close the box. And vowing to get back to it at some point in the near future, but then not. But she don't care about that part, I bet, because now that I'm on her list, if she's doing this right, which she sounds like she is, once you're on the list, she tells you, I read it somewhere, that she's downloaded. She's got over 100 million subscribers somewhere, somehow. Oh, she could have made use of this a little bit better. She could have made this a button, but instead she put it in the email address, which is probably going to net her a whole bunch of spam. That mail to call is fodder for spiders to go and spam the crap out of her, I'm pretty sure. She's got the consult with Callan. I would make this a little, like a booking consultation thing. Probably what you should probably have somewhere on your site. She's got the testimonials. See how powerful this is with the likeness of people on it. It would be even more powerful if she had video, right? If you can see these people saying it in their own words. But very, very powerful. She tries to overwhelm you with testimonials. Again, with the contact details. She can get some of this stuff wrong, right? Like I clicked around and I saw, for example, if I click on her YouTube deal, look what happens here. Or maybe not. Let's see. Gave me a little error message before, but okay. So there you go. You can see that she's got 1.2 thousand subscribers, which is sounds like 1%ish of her normal subscribers. So that's cool. I guess she should probably lead you to a place where a video is playing. I wonder why she doesn't have that set up. Anyway, that's cool. She makes use of the banner, but she can do it in a more strategic way. She at least has a website here, this button here. It's cool, but you can probably make this a little bit more direct responsey. Her LinkedIn profile does not, however, have any of that stuff. So again, there's always opportunities to optimize, but she like once you get to the minimum viable, the stuff that works with the minimum amount of effort, I guess you're fine, right? But she definitely could optimize this a bit better. And we're going to do that with you, but she does have one at the very least, so that's very smart. And then she has the call to action all over again. If you scroll down, if you're kind of spying on her, you can see that she's got the download now again, which is smart. And where did I read? She said something about she's got 100,000 people on her list. I've been blessed with, let's see here. Not sure where I found it, but it is somewhere. I did see it somewhere on her page. Maybe it was in the email, something like that. I'll find it. I'll have to kind of point it out. Anyway, so if she's doing this part right, then she's got emails for days probably. I don't know what the cycle is, but email is still one of the most powerful ways to stay in contact with your constituents. And as food for thought, I'm going to post this on the Trello board. Hopefully this makes sense. So the email topics themselves, the 5 high level topics are about therein, your current events, the work, metaphysical revelations, and essentially ads for promos. So in using this, the about Darren stuff is really just your stories, family stories, friend stories, stories about your life. I should put this as life stories. It's probably more accurate. What you're up to these days, some anecdotal lessons you learned, what you stand for and what you stand against. If you go back just to even her download page, it's in here. The meta is this has been a dream of hers come true. It was her first book, so you're getting insight there. This was the first one to hit #1. And my first book was published on Amazon, and it hit #1 in both categories. What both categories? Anyway, I guess I missed that the first time, but yeah, she hit first. Okay, cool. So then you download it, but this right here in just a sentence or two relayed a whole bunch about her. This was a dream come true thing, and it was published on Amazon. Now it's not. Now you can get it free. So that's sort of the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. But I have a whole outline of how you write these emails so that it hits all of these psychological points all the time. Yeah, I'm going to show you and I'll walk you through them. So current events, news items, your opinion about the situation, controversy for conversation. So anything that you can tie to, some sort of what's going on in the grander, the greater awareness scheme of things, right? Where your constituents are possibly have heard about it. And if they haven't, by the way, you can be the beacon of news, which is also useful. So sometimes you bring the awareness to them. You tell them what the news is. So just so you know, that's also powerful. That's also useful. Okay. And your opinion about a situation helps people decide whether or not they want to adopt your opinion on a matter and or not, right? Because ideally you want to attract people that sync with you, that are naturally synced with you, not necessarily work adversarially with people who are total skeptics and always kind of questioning or fighting with what you have to say. That makes it a very friction-filled relationship. So I'm always trying to work more with people that I jive with than I am trying to convince people that I'm the right one to work with. If that makes any sense. Like I do things like the way that I am naturally kind of fosters that sort of relationship. I'd much rather work with people that are much more in sync with me naturally than me having to prove to them that I'm the right one for them to follow. Proving automatically puts you in an adversarial position with somebody because they're already defensive. They're like, it's auditioning on stage, right? So doing it this way makes it a little bit more natural. And over time, some people don't know what to think anyway, a lot of the times. So they're trying to figure it out. They don't know where to turn. But if your certainty will help them decide, on what's, what the right way is. And they'll naturally come to a conclusion if you give them basis for that, right? The work itself, your work is all breakthrough. You can talk about breakthroughs, your revelations, your struggles, and how it apply, applications, into their own life. So the breakthroughs, I think, are worth talking about because you're painting the picture of where people want to be, because they're not there. But if you have gotten there, you can be the guiding light, and this is how they're going to do it. As long as you keep stirring that hope, slash, on the back end would be pain, like getting them out of trouble, but bringing them to salvation. That all kind of works together synergistically over time. You can talk about it just from those different angles. The metaphysical revelations are, maybe tying it in with, because if you are the bridge to science, then, bringing some of those concepts into it are going to help you with just discussing it, just simply having a discussion about it from an area that they're already familiar with, because it's already a topic that they do get, and then bringing them, so going from where they are and bringing them to where you are is going to be helpful in having that sideways conversation and talking about the unexplainable. Even in terms of where they are in disbelief, right? Possibly, or doubt or something like that. And you can talk about how you were there, right? Your esoteric teachings can also be helpful when you've sprinkled in some of this other stuff in there. And the teachings can, it's more helpful when you're just talking about the what, not the how, because you give them some reason to kind of glom on board. And even when you talk about the why and not the how, talking about why gives people reason to ponder and consider. Your differentiators, what makes you different. You can even differentiate yourself against the competitors. You don't have to do it in a malicious way, and that, I don't want you to misconstrue that. You can talk about it in terms of how you differ from somebody else, and maybe just the market in general, right? And then the ads themselves are what we're going to make use of as you've built up your list and your audience, and you're continually keeping in touch with them, right? So your promotional items, special limited time launch offers, that's where you can show them the specials. Maybe after we show them the thank you page with the little check this out, and they've gone to check it out, and the forward facing page shows them some kind of ridiculous number that they'd like, whoa, that's expensive. When you do that, though, just encountering it helps them to anchor your value up. They see you as a premium provider, even if they don't click the buy button. It keeps them alert to pay attention to your stuff, which is very useful in my opinion. So once you've done that, these interstatal offers can present them the opportunity to get involved at these premium anchored price value things that you then offer them at a special discount, but maybe in a certain window. So take advantage of this now, or forever hold your Reese's Pieces, right? And using that same format, we can remind them offers that are ending soon, and basically continually add content that creates tension about the next offer and why they want to stay on the list. Hey, if you are on my list and you like getting special deals, make sure you stay tuned, because you never know when I'm going to offer you something special, and the only people that get this are on my list. But if you don't like receiving this, by all means, remove yourself, unsubscribe. You won't hurt my feelings, and thank you for at least checking it out. Whenever you do stuff like that, you give people choices. People feel comfortable knowing that they have a way out, but curiosity and hope typically keeps them coming along. So anyway, hope you found that useful. I'm going to go over a different video where I explain the actual the email structure, and then we'll talk about the next 5 emails and the 5 from there, so that we can piggyback on content that you can create. Okay.